seems like just yesterday when Just Away wowed us in the Dubai Duty Free, and African Story took home the $10 million Dubai World Cup for the home team. Those are just two of a plethora of memories from the 2014 Dubai World Cup Carnival. It's that time again, and I'm Joe Christofak, and from now until the end of March, I will be your host for the preview videos for the Dubai World Cup Carnival. As for my sidekick, I am humbled in the presence of greatness. A man who casts a shadow across nations. An American globetrotter, so to speak. Yes, he is still, and always will be incomparable, Pat Cummings. Pat, welcome.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. It's great to be back, ready for another big season in Dubai, and hopefully out-tipping you in 2015.
We'll get to that a little bit later on. This is going to serve as a preview video and kind of a feeder, Pat, into your comprehensive, which is a little bit different this year. It is new, it is exciting, it is fresh. It is available on DubaiRaceNight.com, but it's also available on AmWestEntertainment.com, and they sponsor these videos moving forward. We'll be doing previews every week of the Carnival. Pat, at AmWestEntertainment.com, you can find the Dubai Racing Comprehensive, free Carnival Pass performances, track of stats and charts, Pat's detailed analysis and selections. I'll be putting my race-by-race picks up this year, as will a rising star, Mackenzie Kirker-Head, also live streaming video, all at AmWestEntertainment.com. And Pat, also with AmWestEntertainment.com comes AmWager.com.
Yeah, AmWager, a phenomenal resource for players. If you like to bet the races, for American audiences, I tell you, I haven't found a better platform. I've been using it for multiple years now. And aside from the fact, great rebates that you get on your bets, it's always good to win when you lose. The platform itself, I love to play trifectas, pick threes, pick fours, and overall, I just find that there is really no better resources than what is out there from AmWager. I love playing, and it makes the pleasure of playing all that much better. It's really a great resource for players, and I think if you haven't tried it, you'll want to.
Our time is limited, and I know you can go on for hours about the subject, Pat, but why do you love the Carnival so much, and why should people that have maybe dipped their toe in the water or people who aren't familiar with the Carnival at all love it even 10% as much as you do?
Well, Joe, I think if you are a horse racing fan, period, that you have to love the Carnival. This is a place where we will get horses throughout the Carnival on one day that basically come from 6 different continents. That doesn't happen anywhere else in the world with the regularity that it happens over this span each year in Dubai. That, to me, makes it competitive, it's fun, it's exciting, it's global. You get jockeys from everywhere, trainers who have come in from all over the world, horses bred in as many countries that have racing as you can imagine. That internationalization of the sport, I think, is bigger than it's ever been before. And to me, Dubai is the center of all of that. That's what makes the Carnival so great, so exciting. And as a racing fan from anywhere, I think you look to Dubai and you say, this is what it's like when the world can come together on one stage, from not necessarily low level, but from just handicap company up through the top stakes ranks. It's really exciting for any horse player.
Yeah, Pat, I think I'm a perfect example. I mean, I remember back several years ago, I would look forward to the Dubai World Cup Day, but wasn't as familiar with the Carnival itself and feeding into what is the biggest day of racing globally with a $10 million richest race in the world as its centerpiece. And I love the Carnival now. I mean, I get excited about it. I get excited about handicapping it. And you shouldn't be intimidated because it's horse racing. They go around in a circle. One of the horses is going to hit the wire first. Past performances are available. They're a little bit different than what we're used to, but if you watch the races, you watch the horses in the parade ring, look at them physically, get a handle on the differences in conditions, and really get a feel for the Carnival moving forward as it goes week to week to week. Strength of field becomes very, very important. You can be successful, and I think I'm a pretty good example of that, showing a flat bet profit in 2014. Pat, explain the Carnival itself, the way it's set up. The races are carded seemingly as feeder races for Dubai World Cup night. There is a method to the madness, and Dubai World Cup night is an international feast of racing goodness. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, it's true, Joe. I'd say about half the horses that we will see on World Cup night will have run during the carnival. Probably even more than half, but
Hmm.
let's just go with half. Now, if we break the carnival down into numerous sections, let's take this kind of half uh, division. About half the races will be on the new dirt surface, half the races on the new or on the existing turf surface at Maidan. New dirt. It is an 88% sand, 10% clay and silt mixture. It has played a little bit slower than what maybe some who are used to dirt, but it's still settling in, and it will continue to over the course of the carnival. So about half the races on either surface, and about half the races are stakes events. The other half are mostly handicaps. And handicaps, not in the American sense of the word, where there might be a 5 or 6 pound difference between horses, but you can really get to the point where you're between 10 and 15 pounds of difference from the horses that are rated the highest in the race to the horses that are lowest rated. Now, the ratings aren't a big deal in America, but they are the rest of the world, and each racing body puts a number on each horse, what their actual rating is. The higher the number, the better the perceived quality of that horse. And the higher that rating is, the more weight a horse is going to carry in a particular race. So when you see those weights, you recognize that it's believed that this horse is obviously a better runner in the perception of the handicapper in Dubai.
Well, Maidan raced on Tapeta for 5 years, and then they moved back to dirt, as you mentioned, Pat. First meet in a while, obviously. They're going to be back on dirt following Keeneland and Santa Anita after that whole synthetics craze back about 5, 6, 7 years ago. You talked about the fact that we're back on dirt. You talked a little bit about the handicapping of it. We're going to talk more about that in just a moment, but the carnival itself, 10 meetings before Dubai World Cup night, Thursdays, post time, 9:45 Eastern time. A lot of times an Arabian race to kick things off before the Thoroughbred program. March 7th, Super Saturday post time is going to be at 7 a.m. Eastern time. And I know you've got some things that people should really be aware of. Remember, this is just a short portion of everything that Pat has to offer in the comprehensive. It's new, it's improved, it's formulated in a different sort of way that's really easy to follow. So take your time and go through the comprehensive. But Pat, you're going to give us some really important things to follow right off the bat here.
Yeah, 3 things to follow for the carnival, Joe. The first is you really need to pay attention to how the dirt is playing. In the comprehensive, we've laid out how the dirt has played through the first 28 races that have been held on it. There were 5 meetings at Maidan before the carnival started. Still plenty more to come, but I think it's worth noting that of those 28 races, only 2 horses, 3 races total, were won by horses that actually came from well off the pace. Horses that we would say closed into the pace. And, that's just not much. 71% of the races have been won by horses that either led all the way or were just off the pace. The jockeys are reporting a lot of kickback on that sand surface and some horses not liking it. I think being forwardly placed is important, and staying attuned to how it's playing throughout the carnival, I think, is going to be important. Secondly, pay attention to the local connections. We'll talk about the local trainers in just a minute, some names to really be aware of. But in the comprehensive, I really go over the local horses that are coming in, the local trainers, getting to know them, getting to understand the form. A lot of them have dirt pedigrees, and I think experience over this surface is really going to help as the carnival progresses. Horses will get better that have been on this dirt for a couple runs. I think they need to get used to it. And third, as always, the South African trainer Mike de Kock. You need to pay attention to his horses. He has a string of nearly 40 horses that are going to run. Not all of them have come direct from South Africa, though. Some of them have come from Europe. Some of them stayed in Dubai over the course of last season. If you see a horse making their second carnival appearance, they probably were either in Dubai last year and then went to Europe, or they stayed in Dubai straight through. You can't treat them all the same. Those that have come straight in from South Africa, you might need to handle with some different care. But pay attention to him. He's typically the top international trainer, and I don't think there will be any reason to expect otherwise this year.
Yeah, the stuff you gave us on Mike de Kock and the comprehensive, going through some of the horses in his yard, also some of the quarantine rules, which I believe are just absolutely fascinating. It is an incredible global operation, and definitely worth a few minutes of your time to read that section of the comprehensive. Pat, tell us a little bit more about the local trainers, because what a lot of people don't realize is they race in this general area for a good portion of the year, including some races at Maidan leading up to the carnival, and there's some local trainers that are definitely worth watching.
Yeah, so based on where the standings are right now, the top three trainers amongst the local ranks, we have to start with Musaba Al-Mahari. He is primarily a trainer for Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum, that's Sheikh Mohammed's brother. Also known, he races in the United States and in some other areas of the world as Shadwell Stable. The blue silks with the white stripes, Invasor, Sheikh Hamdan's, one of his biggest horses in American memories. But Musaba Al-Mahari trains many horses for him, many that we will see throughout the carnival. And he has just been on top of his game locally for many years. He currently leads the local trainer standings with 22 wins from about 150 starts. Second on that list is an American, Doug Watson. Really got his start in the UAE as a former assistant to Kira McLaughlin, and Doug is having one of his best years currently. Over the last 5 or so, the all-weather track was not kind to Doug, but let me tell you, his horses have been flying and doing really well at Meydan so far this year, and I think Doug is poised to continue that success. And the other is Satish Simar. He has more wins and more starters than any trainer that has ever raced in the United Arab Emirates. He won a World Cup night race a couple of years ago with Ronaldo the Wizard, has a lot of good horses. Names, again, that might not be familiar to fans who don't frequent the carnival, but I assure you, these are some incredibly astute trainers. They do a great job. You will see their horses, and I think you will see them have a lot of success at this year's carnival.
Take some time, engulf yourself in the comprehensive, get yourself prepared for the carnival. Weekly, Pat and I will be doing a preview show that goes over in detail the top races. We'll also give our selections and a whole lot more really good information, including videos that Pat picks through to try to find you some live long shots as well. You can follow Pat and I on Twitter the entire carnival, and from this point of your life moving forward, as I don't think our Twitter handles are going to change all that often as we get older. Pat Cummings, any final thoughts as we wrap this up and get ourselves ready for what promises to be an incredible Dubai World Cup carnival?
Get tied on. We're ready to race, and it's going to be an exciting time.
For the incomparable one, Pat Cummings, I'm Joe Christofek. Stay tuned through the end of March.